Hello, it is Saturday, September 17th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Saturday puzzle, so it will be a themeless and possibly difficult puzzle today, maybe even the most difficult puzzle of the week. And this supremely difficult, potentially, edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Connor O'Neill, Camtron, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel. If you'd like to become one of them, a benefactor, and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in the link in the description field underneath the video. Thank you to everybody who has done so, and thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. I do very much appreciate that, and in return, you will get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as this week's Sizzling Championship Boss Words Summer Tournament puzzle, and the weekly Speed Solve, mini Speed Solve, New York Times mini Speed Solve weekly compilation that I put up each Friday. Wasn't my finest this week, but what can you do? Speaking of Boss Words, there is a new season, new tournament, new fall themeless tournament coming up. So if you are a patron, look forward to that. And let's get on to the puzzle. I do subscribe to the channel. Yes, moving on. And join the Daily Solve Discord chat server as well. Why not mention that? You can find the link in the description field. So now let's move on to the puzzle. This is a Saturday puzzle, as noted. It's been constructed by Grant Thackeray, who I think has done around a dozen New York Times puzzles, and it was edited, as always, by Will Short. So let's see what sort of themeless challenge we have in store for ourselves today. Sign of spring. Shoots coming up out of the ground. I don't know if that's right. Leaves. I don't know. Shoots and leaves. Eats, shoots, and leaves. Isn't that a book? Word with song or party. Oh, I don't know. Wish I could just jump straight to that. Name on a truck. A Mack truck, maybe? Don't know. Jacobean era, maybe? Possible source of monthly income. A pension or what? What would this be? Possible source of monthly income. I mean, salary? It seems too obvious. Why would that be possible source of monthly income? Don't know. Supplements or supplements. It could be a noun or a verb. It probably ends in an S, but it doesn't need to. It could be something like adds to. I mean, that's not long enough, but it would prevent it from ending in an S, so we won't put that. Go out too late, perhaps. To go out too late, perhaps, is to, I don't know, break curfew or something. Let's keep looking through the grid. Performs repetitive tasks to gain experience points in gaming slang. I would have thought this would have been grinds, but that doesn't fit. Performs repetitive tasks to gain experience points in gaming slang. What else would one call that? I don't know. I really would have assumed that to be grind. What about this? Organization running global championships since 1930. I don't know. Felicitous. Lucky or something. Sam of Hollywood. Sam Raimi, the director, maybe? I mean, there are probably so many names that could fit here. Mascot whose head is a baseball. Oh, boy. I think I might know this. Is it Mr. Met of the New York Mets? That's amazing if I managed to get that. I mean, it wouldn't be amazing by the standards of some people, but for me, it feels like it is. So a little whimper could be a mew, maybe, from a little kitten or something, possibly. If someone isn't objective with someone else, something's them, what? Or isn't objective with the facts, maybe? Someone skews. Yes, there we go. That's what I needed to look for. Okay, this could be Sam Raimi. Let's put it in and see if it works. Sam Raimi was the director of the Evil Dead films and the sort of first modern Spider-Man films. Okay, performs repetitive tasks. So what is that? I still don't know. What about this? Question in a lot of cars. So the question mark pun indicator here makes me think a lot of cars means a used car lot or a car dealership or a car park or something like that. Where do I park? Maybe where? No, where can I park? I'm kind of going out on a limb there, but it does fit with this arc at the end here. So let's check the crosses. Felicitous. Still not seeing that. One for the money. One for the money, maybe a $1 bill or something like that. Go out too late, perhaps. Supplements. Possible source. Oh, this isn't giving me anything. Name on a truck. This could all be wrong. Word with song or party. How have you been? What's up? No. I really thought that was going to do something. I'm going to leave it in there for now, but I don't know if it's correct. Hourglass contents poetically. The sands of time. Now, does that give... Oh, if something's felicitous, it's apt. It's sort of a... Oh, well, that's fortunate. That was apt. So, what? Oh, farms. Performs repetitive tasks to gain experience points. Farms. Okay, fair enough. And then organization running global championships since 1930. This will be FIFA, the global football governing body, or sort of federation of governing bodies as well. Okay, inventor played by David Bowie in The Prestige. He played the character of Nikola Tesla, as I recall, in the film The Prestige. And possible source of monthly income, right? So what is this? Oh, I still just don't see it. Supplements. Maybe where can I park is wrong. This looks weird, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know. Name on a truck. I really wanted that to be right. One for the money. I don't know. I'm going to keep looking at the across. I'm going to leave it in for now. I still don't know. Lays into without. Reams out, maybe, or something like that. Name on a truck. Hess? Is that something? Is that an oil company or something like that? Theme song or party theme, maybe. A party could be themed. A theme party, a party theme. And you could have a theme song. So sign of spring, the thaw or something. Ooh, I don't know. This almost feels like it's right. How have you been? This does look like it'll be what? Something. Pot grower, question mark. So you'd look at this and you'd think you're talking about pot in the sense of marijuana, but the question mark indicates that there's a bit of punnery, and often that means misdirection. So I think what this means is the pot in a game of poker. So the ante adding to the pot would grow the pot. The most well-named one is named for a Greek hero. Oh, Achilles tendon. So the Greek hero Achilles in the Trojan War, felled by an arrow to his ankle or his, yeah. Okay, heel more accurately, sorry. Things once kept in towers. Or towers, maybe, in a misdirected way. Bluish could be racy, maybe. Like a film has some risque content, perhaps. CD towers. There's a big CD shelf behind me. Not a tower, but a big CD shelf that I, for inexplicable reasons, hang on to. Okay, thereabout. Yonder, you could say, oh, it's thereabout, it's yonder, it's over there. Oh, what's new? How have you been? Kind of network, a neural network, perhaps? A learning computer, as expressed in Terminator 2, I guess? Relationship strains, question mark. So this won't be, you look at this and you think, oh, difficulties in an interpersonal relationship, but it's probably not quite that because of the question mark pun indicator. Emmy winner Patricia of 30-something. I'm not sure. Where one might drift off on a boat. Drift. I mean, is this something to do with currents in the sea, maybe? Hideout for Blackbeard. A pirate's lair, perhaps? Pirate lair? Something like that. Blackbeard the pirate. Let's look at the crosses on pirate. Like certain corrections. I don't know, pedantic or something like that. Possible source of monthly income. Oh, I just don't see it. It's so frustrating. This whole area, maybe where can I park is wrong. Maybe it's where, I don't see what else fits, but the where and the park and the I all must be correct. So I'm just going to move on. We'll come back to it. Doesn't stick out. If something doesn't stick out, it fits. And savage could be fierce, maybe, or doesn't fit. Twitter sphere. So, again, this looks on the surface like it's referring to the sort of totality of the community of people who use the social network Twitter. But the question mark makes me think it's not that. And maybe it's birddom or something like that, which doesn't quite fit, actually. But the bird, world of birds, I don't know. Aviary or something, I'm not sure. Twitter sphere. Don't know. Let's keep looking. Red or green lights, maybe. They're signs, they're indicators, red or green lights. Focus of the law of the land. Law of the land, so zoning, maybe? Because it controls what can be built on what land. This is a strange looking end to a word, though. Go out too late, perhaps. Maybe not. The law of the land, meaning zoning, is good, though. Someone should use that if it's not the answer. It may be. Maybe. Okay. Good enough. What can't be done alone, famously? Tangoing? It takes two to tango. What can't be done alone? Raising a child, it takes a village. I don't know. I'm missing an idiom here. Ballyhoo. A whole ado? Big ballyhoo? Whole to do, a whole ado, whole what? Line after a drop. Don't know if that means drop like a sort of needle drop in the sense of music, or dropping a beat, or drop like out of a plane or something. I mean, I don't know what that is. Went round and round in a way. I'm going to delete this because I don't know. Oh, but it could be eddied maybe, like a little whirlpool went round and round. That would allow a do to be correct still. Good enough. We'll just keep going for now. Some social media postings probably ends in an S. That doesn't necessarily need to. Although this does end in an, this does seem plural as well, relationship strain, so that's probably fair. Rooster raised for eating. Is it a cap-on? Is that a rooster raised for eating? Pirate, I don't know, I could be misremembering. Oops. Hideout for Blackbeard, a pirate, okay, cove, pirate cove, maybe. Maybe that's it. Many a Hollywood production assistant. A gopher, I think those people are often called because they go get you things, gopher. Okay, motivated with under, lit a fire under you to motivate you, metaphorically. Okay, coming along, finally found a part of the grid where I can make some progress. Watches amazedly, gaped at, maybe? And opposite of stat. So stat means, quickly, immediately. What would that be? No rush, you might say. There we go. What can't be done? Oh, the tango. I was right. Okay. I needed the in there. The tango can't be done alone, famously, I suppose is what it's saying. Relationship strains. Duets. Strains as in strains of music. So this is a song. It's a duet. It's being sung by two people. I think that's what that's getting at, hence the relationship. Okay, where one might drift off on a boat. Birth? The birth? Emmy winner Patricia of 30-something. Boy, I just don't, I just do not know. I'll come back to all of this, I suppose. Okay, impertinent sort. A twit, maybe? Is that impertinence necessarily? Small sample. A try, a sip, maybe? Sip, given on a platter. In which none of it means our land. Inuit? Inuit language? Some social media postings. Small sample. I don't know, maybe this is wrong. Oops, could be Aleut, actually. Would be another language. It feels like it could be right there. I don't know, some small social media posting pics, maybe? On Instagram, say? Given on a platter. Designs. Plans? I don't know. Not sure about any of this. Let's keep going. Disney's Blank Dragon. Pete's Dragon, which I've never seen, but I think they remade recently, last several years. Work out. So it could be work out as in exercise, could be work out as in determine something, but I'm not sure which. Oh, slide behind a speaker, maybe. Slide behind a speaker. So if it's someone speaking, giving oratory, it could be a slide presentation or something like that. This looks like individual something. If this were I, metal that can be drawn into wire an atom wide, wow. Oh, why can't I see what this is? Oh, that is frustrating. What about this? Acclaimed manga artist Junji, I just haven't a clue. 20th century health initials. 21st century. It's going to guess HMO, but I would assume the concept of HMOs in American healthcare predate the 21st century. 21st century health initials. I'm not sure what that is. Compound that becomes a man's name when its last letter is removed. A man's name. I can think of Ethel, which would be a woman's name. What? I don't know. Ah, okay. Got to find a new way into the puzzle once again. Work out. Role in 2020's The Trial of the Chicago 7. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see this. The land down under ? So again, the surface read, you'd think Australia. But the question mark pun indicator indicates that is not going to be what this means. The land down under. I don't know, the underworld or Hades or something like that. The land down under a cave system. I'm not sure. Good enough. It'll do? Yeah, that fits. Line after a drop. Could be a line you speak, or it could be a line that you drop, I suppose, like a fishing line or a rope or something. Ballyhoo. So if this were a do, line after a drop. Ooze? Doesn't really seem very correct with that S. It's more than one line. Impertinent sort. So if that were twit, this would be oot. I don't know, it doesn't seem right, really. Line after a drop. That S makes this very surprising to me. What about this? Savage. Feral. Ah, savage animal, a feral animal. Exasperated, say. Well, if it exasperated you, it got to you, as opposed to saying you are exasperated. So we're, in other words, using this as a verb rather than a noun. Does that work? Focus of the law of the land. Well, it doesn't look like zoning. Estate. Estate law? There we go. That looks plausible to me. Okay, red or green lights, maybe. Does it end in an S? The land down under. Atlantis. Right. Mythical sunken city of Atlantis. So Ballyhoo does look like a do. I do not know what's going on with line after a drop. Impertinent sort. A snit or something? What is that? What is this? Line after a drop. One for the money. Something sign. Red or green lights, maybe. Twitter sphere. Avian age. It doesn't really seem plausible at all. Impertinent sort. Impertinent sort. Is a snip an impertinent sort? I mean, it sort of sounds like it would be, but I don't know that I've ever heard that. Oh, that would make this oops. You dropped something and you say oops. That sounds right. So that must be it. Okay, so does that roll in 2020's The Trial of the Chicago 7? Do I know anything about the circumstances? Was Bobby Seale involved in the trial of the Chicago 7? Because he was Black Panther, right? Would that be the Black Panthers. I'm not referring to the Marvel hero. That would sort of seem plausible. I'm honestly not sure off the top of my head. That's a guess. Work out. Slide behind a speaker. Oh, something aid. A visual aid. Oh, maybe this isn't. Oh, watches amazedly. Gapes at. Sorry about that. If you've spotted that for absolutely ages, I'm very, very sorry about that. Okay, so some kind of visual aid. Slide behind a speaker. So I was on the right track with the presentation bit. So if you work something out, you plan it or plot it. Oh, ethan, and ethane. So the compound is ethane, and the man's name is Ethan when we remove the E. There we go. To work something out is to plan it. And 21st Century Health Initials. Oh, the Affordable Care Act, ACA. Okay, so buckwheat and others. This was an American bit of legislation in U.S. politics. So, okay, so buckwheat and others, little rascals. That was crew of children of screen entertainment in, I guess, the mid-20th centuries, and then revived in the 90s, maybe? Okay, metal that can be drawn into a wire an atom wide. What is that? Gilt? Gold. Oh, sorry, gold would be... I don't know why I didn't think of gold first. There we go, gold. That's probably it. Went head over heels. Something... Oh, I don't know. Oh, audiovisual aid. Okay. Ito, maybe? That's a Japanese name. Went head over heels. Not sure. Maybe I won't put that in yet. Given on a platter. You fed something to somebody? You gave it to them on a platter? Okay, this does look like Inuit after all, which was, I think, my original guess. And then some social media postings. GIFs. Animated images. Graphical interchange format. CompuServe graphical interchange format originally. Designs. Your goals could be your designs. And went head over heels. Oh, you stood because literally your head is above your heels? Is that... I guess that's true. That's so funny. That's exactly the opposite of how you'd expect this to be, which was the point of the misdirection. So there we go. Okay, I'm guessing this is going to be wettig, and this is going to be birth, but I'm not sure. One might drift off on a boat. The birth of the ship. I mean, you're just down there taking a nap. I don't know. Twitter sphere. Okay. Like certain corrections. I'm in this annoying part of the grid that I was struggling with. Red or green lights, maybe. Red or green lights, maybe. Are these right? Savage is feral. Exasperated, say. Oh, exasperated. Why did I say get to rather than got to? Did I have a reason for that? Is there another way this can be read? I don't think so. No, that was just wrong. Sorry about that. I did that twice so far in this puzzle. That's ridiculous. Okay, so does that help? Red or green light? Oh, this could be aurora, the aurora borealis. In this part of the country. One for the money. Go out too late, perhaps. You miss something? You miss curfew? You miss... I don't quite see it. Sign of spring. Don't know. Okay, possible source of monthly income. Oh, a rental unit? You could, I don't know, own a sort of apartment that you rent out, maybe? Okay, this really does look like where can I park, doesn't it? But I guess... Supplements. Addenda. Plural of addendum. So supplements. There we go. Great. So go out too late, perhaps. You miss a cue? Maybe you go out too late on stage? That would make sign of spring. Oh, the ram. That must be a zodiac thing. Okay, there we go. I need to just learn those one of these days. So you miss a cue on stage. Oh, where did I park? I was on the right track from the very beginning, but I was thinking at the completely wrong point in the sort of parking experience. I was thinking arriving at a car park and thinking, where can I park? But no, it's not. It's when you're coming back out and you're looking for your car and you're saying, where did I park? There we go. That's the question. One for the money is a dollar sign. Okay, that was very straightforward. That's the kind of straightforward thing that can elude me for absolutely ages. So, oh, what is this? Like certain corrections, paint. Oh, penal, like a corrections facility, a penitentiary. So maybe, oh, this is wrong then. Possible source of monthly income. Oh, a renter, somebody who's paying you rent in the rental unit you have. Okay, I guess those are both reasonable answers. So this looks like a birdcage, Twitter sphere. You could have a globular birdcage, I suppose, a Twitter sphere. And then this is birth, I'm sure. There we go. All right, that was another. I found yesterday's puzzle tricky to break into. I found this one a bit tricky to break into as well, but then it was just a bit more challenging throughout the solve. And I suppose that's no surprise. That's the whole point of the Saturday puzzle. It's meant to be difficult. So there were some clever things. There were some very clever clues in here. Quite a lot of punning going on. What were some of the Twitter sphere, birdcage? I mean, that's clever. Question in a lot of cars. So this one had the pun indicator. This one, I guess, I figured out the pun bit early, but not the specifics of the nature of the question. Pot grower being an auntie is very funny. Went head over heels is ridiculous. That's just stood as far as you can possibly get from the idiomatic meaning of that phrase. So just some very clever things. The land down under being Atlantis is good. All kinds of things like that in this puzzle. It was a good one. Good, tough Saturday. Let me know how you fared with this. I thought it was tricky. And with that, let's get on to some clues from yesterday's puzzle, shall we? I think there were several corrections, which I suppose makes sense. Or 4, it looks like. So let's see. Who do we have first? Nayan Shilakumar says Monterey Runner was Mac. I remember that really baffled me. Why is Monterey Runner Mac? Because Monterey is the latest version of Mac OS, the Mac operating system. So every Mac will run Mac OS Monterey. I find that preposterous. I suspect quite a few people were baffled by that answer. I certainly was. Glader, GLA3DR, says, as for the clue about almost half of the world's zippers being made in Japan, I believe this is indirectly referring to YKK, or Yoshida Kokyo Kabushiki Gaisha, the Yoshida Manufacturing Corporation, a Japanese manufacturing company founded by Taido Yoshida in 1934. You may or may not have noticed their initials on the pole of many zippers. They don't seem to be as pervasive these days, but I know when I was younger, it felt like every single zipper I saw was a YKK. That's so funny that you mentioned that. That's one of those strange memories that I'm realizing I have that I've never thought about in detail once in my life. Yes, I absolutely remember the experience, particularly when I was younger, of noticing the YKK logo on every zipper pull on any piece of clothing I owned. That is so funny. What a strange sort of latent memory to be stirred up. And I looked this company up after seeing this comment because I was curious, and I can't figure out if the bit about half of the world's zippers being made in Japan is accurate. The thing that I could find attested repeatedly is that YKK, the company, produces half of the zippers, roughly, made in the world, but they have manufacturing facilities in some 70 countries or something. They manufacture other things, so it may not be the case that all of those factories are producing zippers, but I couldn't find any way to cleanly verify whether it is actually true that half of the world's zippers are being produced in the country of Japan, even though it does seem as though half of the world's zippers are produced by a Japanese-owned company. So I don't know. It could still be the case, but I couldn't find any independent verification of it, but I didn't look very hard. Let's be fair. Okay, so Stephen Giblin explains A&P was a grocery store chain. I believe it stood for Atlantic and Pacific. So that's what came to mind when I was thinking of eventually A&W. I was thinking A&P grocery store chain, A&B and A&W. So there we go. Thank you for that. And finally, glad to be corrected here. John Mayhew says, sorry, Chris, you've fallen foul of a bit of folk etymology. Etymythology. There we go. So mythology and etymology, portmanteau there, etymythology. Though it's a great explanation often told, there is no evidence to suggest that love in tennis derives from the French leuf. Though the real origin is obscure and dated, prevailing theory connects it with the old expression playing for love, i.e. not for money, for nothing, which was once used among gamblers to indicate a friendly game of cards or dice. The expression neither for love nor money is still used. So thank you for that. I'm glad to have that corrected, and I will certainly remember that and not propagate that bit of false etymology going forward. I tend to be skeptical of things that feel like very tidy etymologies. For this exact reason, they're usually wrong. It's a case in which I think you could apply a sort of Occam's razor-like principle, to go back to something we were discussing a few days ago, that the simplest explanation should be preferred unless proven otherwise. It's basically impossible to apply that to linguistics, because there isn't really a simplest explanation. Linguistics is kind of just random, to be totally honest. I've learned quite a lot about linguistics over the last several years, and it really is. I mean, random's not quite the right word, but it's not designed. Language is in no way designed. It's extraordinarily unintentional, the way that it evolves, and it's very, very difficult to line up tidy explanations that actually end up being correct for how words derive. So thank you for that, John Mayhew. And finally, John also says, a comment, not a correction. As a Brit, I can't recall ever having heard Dunkirk not giving second syllable stress in that manner, Dunkirk, which is the opposite to how it was clued in yesterday's puzzle in the New York Times, which called it Dunkirk, and it was important to solving the clue. A quick check on YouTube suggests this might be yet another one of those US-UK pronunciation divisions. Yes, I definitely agree, and that is why when I mentioned the clue, I mentioned that it sort of does rely on specifically the American English pronunciation of Dunkirk, which feels slightly, it's not ideal for a clue, but I guess the Dunkirk platoon pairing was irresistible to the constructor and editor of the puzzle. And that's all four. So thank you so much to everybody who wrote in, as usual, and thank you to you for watching the video. I'll be back tomorrow with the Sunday puzzle. Should be a big, old, jumbo Sunday grid. Probably not as difficult as this one. I would be quite surprised if it were, but it will be longer than usual. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.